Hey, we are here with Nicole and Brandon Knowles, and you guys have so much going on. This podcast episode is going to be all over the place. So if you can't handle that, then this might not be the one for you. We, you are a real estate agent. You are a teacher, homeschool mom. You're a mom. You're a newly self-employed contractor. Y'all have a ton going on. What is this season of life like for y'all?
It's very busy. Like you said, we're all over the place. We're like passing ships in the night sometimes. Just raising four kids, homeschooling, like you said, trying to grow our businesses and be where our feet are. That's the motto that I'm living right now is be where my feet are. So when I'm home and I'm with my family, I'm trying to be intentional to be with my family. And when I'm with my clients or I'm at the office working, I'm business focused and trying to give excellent service there.
We're going to dive into that
Yep.
because you say, be where I am. We're going to talk about how do you differentiate you're a teacher at this moment versus a mom. I don't even know if you can. We're going to skip that. How are things going for you?
Same, busy, just moving along with everything that comes at us and keeping focused in the right areas. Like you said, we've got school, we do a co-op, so we homeschool. We do also get them to a school environment, 2 days a week for the boys and 1 day a week for our kindergartner. But like she said, I think being where your feet are is really where we're putting our mindset and focusing on now is family time, now is work time, and being able to make sure that we put it all together so that we're there for our family.
That's
And
awesome.
giving a lot of grace
To each other, to the
to
kids,
everyone.
to everyone.
To everyone.
That is important.
Yeah.
So where did y'all meet? Y'all are like, are you high school sweethearts or?
We met in high school, but we weren't dating in high school. So
Yeah.
we connected together after high school.
After we
And
both graduated.
How did you circle back? Because a lot of times after high school, for some reason, obviously people go to college, people start, but the whole thing, everyone seems to go separate ways. But then it does come back. What
Fayette
brought y'all
County's a
back
small town still.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
feels like a
it's
really small world. To be business owners and raising a family and where you grew up, it feels really small. No, we just mutual friends that were high school sweethearts. We met again through them years ago. So we've been together 17. He's better at that than me.
Wow.
I know, but together 17.
Mhm.
17 years.
So when you saw him again, you were like,
Um,
"Hey,
it was an immediate no.
you've grown up." Is that what the glow up?
I
It
guess
Ah.
was.
so,
I
yeah.
am not being dramatic. I followed my girlfriend into another room, and I said, "I want to date with him. I want to marry him and grow old with him. I need you to fix this up. I need you to figure this out." And
So
the
was that
next,
after a conversation or just
I
a
walked
look
in and
across the room? You
mhm.
just
I walked in, and I saw him, and I told my girlfriend, "This, you need to figure this out."
and how many times did she have to ask you out before you're like,
Mm,
okay?
it just took the one telling me that she wanted me to
Yeah,
ask her out, and from there, yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Then
really cool. So I've got really good friends, Steve and Tiffin, that we went. It was Y2K. It was year 2000, and we went to a New Year's Eve party. Me and Steve were the only single guys there. I think
Hmm.
it was a house party here. We had done the Buckhead thing and all that so many times. So this was a house party, and we were kind of not excited because we're two single guys. We're like, well, one of the friends brought like I think two single girls, and him and Tiffin saw each other like in the hall. I don't know, I'm probably telling us, but they literally talked the entire night, spent every moment together from there for weeks. Like we didn't even see either of them. I think they spent that whole next 2 or 3 days together, and still married, grown kids.
Hmm.
Like you talking about love at first sight or whatever
yeah,
it was. It was pretty cool.
yeah,
Nice,
it
nice.
happens sometimes.
You got 4 kids. That's a lot.
Hmm.
It is a lot.
Was the
We're
last
very
one an
thankful.
accident, or you just like even
I
numbers?
mean, a few of them were,
A
but
few. The first one and the last one.
no, they're all. We feel very grateful to be able to witness them grow up and to be able to be chosen to be their parents. And I mean, it's not all rainbows and sunshine, obviously, because we're all humans and doing our best. But I do feel really, really grateful to be a mother of four.
That's awesome. What are their ages?
So 16, she'll be 17 in December. 10, 11 in December. He's a Christmas Day baby. That's a very big deal in our house. And then 12 and just turned 6.
So do you do the half of your birthday, or how do you celebrate that Christmas birthday?
So this Christmas birthday, we do Christmas in the morning, and then once lunchtime hits, it's no longer Christmas for us, and we go to Waffle House and we have lunch because that's his. So birthday lunch is always a thing for all of our kids. They get to pick wherever they want to go for lunch, and we go off and we do that. But
Homeschooling, you can do that. Yeah,
yes, you
that's
can.
great.
But for him, we didn't do it for the first several years because it's Christmas Day. There's nothing open,
Yeah.
not a lot of choices. And then one day we were driving down the road, and he said, and we eat kind of particular, but he said, the Waffle House is open. Could we not go to Waffle House? And I was like, I'm driving. I thought, oh crap, really? I don't even know how to pivot from this one. And so now we go to Waffle House for Christmas lunch every year for his birthday, and the whole restaurant sings to him. And he loves every minute of it.
I've actually spent several Valentine's days at Waffle House.
There you go.
They were with my mom, but a couple years
Still
ago,
special.
Yes, a couple years ago, they put white tablecloths out.
Oh
and
my goodness.
Roses, and it was a big deal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was cool. The whole place was decorated. My kids went. We took her to either lunch or dinner, and then this year, the ones on the south side didn't do it. Some of the Waffle Houses still did it, but they didn't. But it was still, I guess it's now a tradition.
Yeah.
So, and you are homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. So
Yeah.
how do you is it more self-learning? Because how do you teach 4 kids at one time?
Well, I guess now at this stage of life, our oldest, she's actually this current school year fully dual enrolled at West Georgia.
Okay.
So she's kind of
She's
on her
what,
own.
a sophomore?
Well,
Junior.
she's
Junior.
she's
16
on,
year junior. Yeah.
she's a junior, but she's technically going to be done with all of her credits by the end of May, so we could graduate her.
Okay.
So we're still kind of figuring that out. She had a plan and she knew exactly what she was going to do, but she's recently decided that she wants to move on from that and figure something else out. So she's just plugging away, but she does all of that on her own. I mean, we're here obviously, but she doesn't. She's so brilliant. She doesn't need us, but to school her. But so she's there full time and can graduate in May. And then the other ones, they have their different things, but they all learn from each other. I mean, we're part of a co-op. We've been part of a co-op for several years. This year we're at a new co-op, and they kind of give you some guidance, but then we can take it where we want it to go. But like just earlier this week, me and my 12-year-old, we were watching a video, and as soon as it started playing, the almost 11-year-old ran over and wanted to see it. And so then he's sitting there learning, and then the 6-year-old's right there.
Yeah.
So, and then when she's watching her phonics videos, the boys are jumping in and dancing around and doing the same thing.
So is math a video? Because I was pretty smart in school, and definitely in math. I kind of excelled in math, but I don't even know if it's the same math, if I just forgot it, if it's different. But Max is now in 8th grade, and I even look at his directions, and I still can't figure it out. There's no way I can teach. I can't even help him.
I do not like math, and that was the very first thing that I hired out. And that's what started us down the co-op route. Was I didn't know our oldest Lola, she's very advanced in math, and she's done with all of those credits, and she was just, I couldn't do it. So we sent her to co-op just for math, and then it was like every year we added on. But math for my boys, they can do it online, and it's kind of self-paced for them online.
It's kind of like an app. It has directions, information, and then some games and things like that. So,
and they've got to get a percentage of it right to master that skill, and then they build on top of that, and they keep going to get forward.
Yeah. How much teaching do you do?
I mean, we split. I mean, we work on them together. I'm at home, half the week anyway, so I'm there with them, keeping them in line, keeping them going.
So you're both pretty patient.
Mm-hmm.
Have they always homeschooled? Has any of them ever been in school?
So our oldest went through 5th grade, and our second went through kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was we lived here for a while, grew up here, went to high school here, all that, lived here for a little bit, but then we moved out to Charleston in South Carolina. And so our daughter finished out elementary school out there, and our son went to public school, kindergarten there. And then when we moved back here is when we started our homeschooling journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the deciding factor? What was like, that's it?
At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for over a decade, and I just felt like I was missing my kids. I would get them from school, and it would be gymnastics, swim, soccer, to homework, food, bath, and then next thing I knew, I was putting them to bed, homework, and then it was like, where was the time where we did nothing?
Yeah.
And we could just sit and just exist together. And I felt like time was slipping, and I missed my babies. And being a stay-at-home mom, I had one, Luca never went to public school, so I had him home with me. And then I was pregnant, and that was great. But the other two was just like a rat race that I really didn't enjoy. And I actually was the black sheep of my friend group, where I was the only one not homeschooling.
Really?
So when we moved back here, I told him, I'm going to homeschool the kids. And he was like, you're kind of a crazy person, but I already knew that. He knew that a long time ago. On our very first date, I told him I wanted 6 kids, and there was the door if he couldn't do that. And, you know, marriage is compromise, so we have 4.
Okay.
We moved here.
Did you compromise really, or she just changed her mind?
I think she changed her mind.
By the 4th one, I was content. I was like, okay, yeah, no, we're fine. We're good. When you get to the no, I'm kidding. But we started homeschooling, moved back here, and then the next thing we knew, COVID hit, and everybody got weird with it, and nobody knew what they were doing. And I was like, well, look at that.
Yep.
And so our lives didn't change. We were already in the groove of doing everything at home.
So, like, I wonder with my 2 kids. So Max was super smart, and he was annoyed with the whole COVID online stuff because he would do like literally a week. They'd given us all the assignments for the week, and he would do them all in like 15 minutes.
I got one of those.
And then he's got to sit there, and he's like, and then Aiden, I'm beating him over the head.
I've got one
to
of those.
do one, and I'm like, they couldn't have been any different. Any different. And it's so funny because, you know, they talk about street smarts, and I don't want to call it street smarts, but common sense, like just things. Aiden has always had it. He is just can figure stuff out at a young age. And Max just, I wouldn't say he's not street smart, but just little things like stepping over his clothes for a week and then being like, I can't find my jacket anywhere. And I'm like, you step over it every day. I've left it there on purpose, and like that type of, I don't know what that's that street, but just unobservant, I guess.
So this morning's meltdown was one of our boys put his laundry in the wash this morning. Great, perfect. Moved it to the dryer and realized that he had washed a book. Not just a book, but his favorite book, the book of useless information. He's a jokes. He likes his joke books. He likes fun facts. Get his
riddles.
He got all the way to the dryer.
Oh no!
He was putting it in the. He handled it this morning.
Oh, it
yeah.
was in the
It was coming out. No, it was last night.
It
It
was
was coming
last
out of
night.
the wash. Yeah, it was coming out of the
It
wash.
was coming
yeah.
out of the wash.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I didn't even get out of the bed to go.
Thousands of little pieces of paper everywhere. Yeah.
He's a reader, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He always has a book. Usually it's a joke book or a riddle book or something like that. But he washed it and is devastated. But then our sweet oldest child bought him. He walked in today from co-op, and there was a Guinness Book of Records on the book on the table, and she bought him a book to kind of ease that pain. It wasn't the same book, but he was very excited about that. But you know that and he's the kid that I have to sit what we call cheek to cheek to do school with him.
Yeah.
The other one finishes all of his schoolwork in one day, and it's like, I'm bored. What am I doing next?
So how do y'all handle electronics? Like, is it
We're a mess with that. We don't.
okay?
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest.
No, that's fair because I'm the same way. Like, I have so many regrets. Like, when you talked about reading, I think about Max when he was younger and he read so much and he liked it and he read all the time and they did so many arts things. They would draw all these things.
Yeah.
And it stopped. And he's
Yeah.
still super smart. And now I'm like trying to reel it in, and I'm like, oh, he's playing video games with his friends, and I like seeing that. But I'm like, and then when I yell at him do that, he just comes and sits on the couch and watches YouTube videos. I'm like, yeah.
it's really hard because you feel like you're fighting against society.
Yeah.
And I mean, a part of you wants them to get into the technology and be capable of knowing all the things and how to handle it. But then also, I could just throw it all away.
Yeah. My advice, if I could flip it and start over, would be make it earned.
Mm-hmm.
And like literally, you've got to say that in the beginning. Hey,
Yeah.
you can do that, but you're going to earn it by doing the schoolwork, by doing because chores, everything. Now it's a punishment to take it away versus.
Yeah.
So it's an assumption that he has it and can do whatever he wants unless he's being punished.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or it should be the opposite.
Yep.
It should be, he should earn it. And I have had some other parents talk about how their kids are earning it by doing this, or they have to earn an hour. And then once that hour's up, and
Yep.
it's
I
so
mean,
many things
we've played with a lot of things. We do have like parental controls on things, and they don't have our young ones don't have phones. We are very particular, and we try to be very wise about what they're exposed to. But they have some video games that they like to play, and when they get done with school, it's kind of like a free for all. But they have chores that they're expected
Yeah.
to do.
See, I suck there. My kids don't even do chores.
Well, I mean,
Well,
they have a
I
list
said
of-
they're expected
They have
to
a
do.
list of chores. Now, do they always get done? That's another. And
No.
we also try
That's
to implement
crazy.
a reading hour in the morning. So there's structure and things that we want them to get done before they get into the electronics and the
At the
screens
end of
and
the
stuff.
day, I feel like, were they loved? Are they safe? Did I educate them? Because that's important. And are they happy?
Yeah. That's
I
awesome.
can't do anything else. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't
I would
dwell
throw
on that.
in. I would throw in. Have I demonstrated or taught? Because this is what's important to me. Taught my child to love others.
Yes.
Like and serve, or you replace it with serve is probably a better word. Is we're not just here to be happy or to exist or to excel. I really believe that we are all here to serve each other, and if everyone did that a little bit more,
we'd be in a different place.
yeah. I mean, I saw a one of those let's normalize this. I hate that phrase. Let's normalize, but they were like, can we normalize going to the party you were invited to, even though it's inconvenience for you? You know how we've gotten to the place where it's like, I just want to go home. Like, it's your safe space. You shouldn't have to go. And don't answer the door if you don't want to. And I was like, can we normalize sitting on the front porch and waving to people? And
I would
talking
love
and-
that.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Southern Legacy. I'm assuming that's you.
Yes, indeed.
Brandon.
Yes.
I will start with this. I've told somebody on one of my podcasts, you wrote me a thank you note.
Yeah.
I don't remember what you thanked me for. I don't know what it was. But I
But
was
you
like,
remembered that he did it.
I did. And I not just remembered it. I was thoroughly impressed, blown away. I don't know. I was like, wow, that like, not only did you just take the time to write it, but you had to remember to write it. You had to acknowledge it to yourself, whatever. I think I might have just liked your page.
Yep, that was it. My
When
launch
you were first
post.
growing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my launch
Yeah.
post. Yep.
And we talk about that all the time, handwritten notes, but that was huge. That was awesome. So tell me about Southern Legacy. What decided you to leave corporate America and start building houses?
I think it really just stemmed from wanting to be where we wanted to be. I've had some conversations with some people that have really done some good things in their lives, and wanted to put some focus in some areas on how I could set my family up for generational wealth and what that looked like, and really kind of leaving a legacy for them. And so that's what
Southern Legacy.
built into the name. We were on a road trip home, and trying to think of what the name of the business would be if I did make this venture. And the whole reason for the venture and the business is to set a legacy up for my family and make sure that they're provided for, and that I leave good lasting impressions on them. So that's really where we started from.
We can do a whole nother podcast about building, because I would love to learn like how you find lots and just the whole process of deciding and plans and naming. Like, to me, the goal would be for you talk about legacy, is doing a whole neighborhood to where you get to name the streets.
I've
Nice.
got plans.
Yeah.
You got them?
Yeah.
I've got dreams.
Then you got the kids' names on each little
Oh, that would be
screen,
fun.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I always
Yeah.
thought like that's a really cool legacy.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but you're doing home improvement. You're doing full builds as
So
well?
I haven't gotten into a full build yet.
Okay.
You know, definitely ventures down the line. Would love to get to. But right now, really renovation, remodel, projects around the house to prep your living space for what you want. You know, whether it's to stay there for the next 5 years or if it's to prep it for sale. You know, it's or you just bought it and you want to change some things. You know, that's kind of really the vision of where my focus is right now is, you know, what can I do to make your home where you want to be?
Well, that works well for both of you with you selling real estate and you have a project now
Yeah.
that you can't talk about, but you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
That y'all are, I guess you have a listing that's coming on that needs
Yeah.
repair.
Yep.
By the way, we'll stop and interject. The 203K, FHA 203K loan,
Mm-hmm.
you can use it as a refinance.
Yep.
FYI, it isn't just for a purchase. So if you need to renovate your home to get it prepared to sell, there's actually a loan product for
There's
that.
an option for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got a listing coming up, and it's a really beautiful, unique property. But it was supposed to be their forever home, and you know how that goes.
Mhm.
So they were in the middle of a lot of different projects, and then she's getting a job transfer, so they're having to move, and time is of the essence. So they hired out to have all the work completed, and so they hired Brandon. So it was really fun, and a first for us because we went to the listing interview for me and the contracting interview for him together and walked through and did that together as a team. So it was different and it was a lot of fun to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to have a lot of belief in each other because your horses are tied together. I mean, I know that if you have a listing and you recommend somebody, because I know how agents are with their lender, like they have to perform.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter whose fault it is, you have to perform because it all comes back to the person that referred them.
Yeah.
Same way for me as a lender, I can't blame the processor for being sick and not doing her job. It's still a reflection on me.
Mhm.
Yep.
So you have to have a lot of confidence in him to bring him in to risk your own business.
I have never met anyone in my life that works harder than him, ever. There has been, so we were very young when we got married and had kids, and we have had really high highs and really low lows, but there has not been a single season of life that we have gone through where he didn't show up and he didn't put everything into it. And I know it sounds so like cliche and weepy.
It doesn't. It sounds
but
perfect.
it's
sounds
very
like
true.
What you hope to say about your spouse.
It's very, very true. And that's something that, you know, he reflects and shows our children, and like talking about a legacy. Yes, of course we want to, you know, set them up for success, but we want to show them the grit and the hard work, what it takes to feel good for yourself, that you're doing things that are important and you're showing up, and you're not gonna can we say bad words? You're not gonna half-ass yourself on the job.
Yeah.
But I really truly have never met anyone that works harder than him.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so he works hard, but is he good at what he does?
yes, he is. I mean, like with any business, even still several years into the real estate business, you have growing pains and you have learning curves and things. I mean, every transaction I experience, there's something new to learn, and that's just the reality because there's so many things that can get weird in real estate.
All these businesses change so much.
Yeah.
Even national builders, with the way things change and codes, and I don't know how you deal with that. I don't know how much you have to deal with the code department. What do they call them?
Planning and zoning. Yeah.
The code department. I'm gonna call it that from now on.
The code department.
Oh yeah, no. We have so we work we don't work at the kitchen table. We tend to sit in bed too late at night, but in bed at night and finish up our work day. And it's very funny now to sit here and have the conversations that we're having about permits and this city's permit situation or that city, and then I'm having conversations. Actually, like I'll be texting, or I'll see his phone. Just the other night, he got a text message from my client, and what does he want? What is he texting you about? And then I just found out something today, like minutes before we left the house to come here, about the projects going on over there. And I thought, well, we did not, hold on, we have to have another conversation. We're going to put a pin in that and come back to that, just because we're working together now and decisions are being made. But it's just a lot of fun to kind of go through that together. Yeah.
So I'm sure that adds to a listing appointment. Which one of you would be the one? I'm not going to ask the question to get the answer I'm looking for, but so you know what it needs to look like to sell, what's going to help it to sell, what it's going to make it beauty pageant ready is a word I've used several times. So I guess you do the recommendation. Does he walk through it with you and go, that'd be more of a home inspection type of angle, but like at what point would you bring him in if somebody, you're like.
So this particular situation that we're currently in, the homeowners know both of us personally, and that's how we got brought in together. But in a different scenario where I just went for a listing interview and they were potentially needing to have work done, I would, give some guidance based off of return of investment and what buyers are thinking about and looking for when they walk through a property. But then, of course, I let them know I have, I have a contractor.
And then you can price it. So give them that. I think that's a big deal for a lot of people. They don't, I don't know, some things sound expensive and they're not. Some things feel like they're not going to be expensive, but they really are. So to have somebody that you can go, hey, they've got to put a rail on the front porch because it's over 3 feet in FHA's requirement. What would you charge to do that? And he can spit that out.
And just having conversations with his projects at home, I'm learning ballpark of what things range. And so it's easy for me to walk through. It's getting easier for me to walk through a property thinking, oh, well, that's going to be, 5,000 or that's going to be 1,000 or whatever it might be, and kind of put my clients in a position of prioritizing. How much money do you have? What needs to be done? And this is what it's going to cost.
So I'll leave this to either of y'all can answer. What would be some of the things someone could repair that would cost the least but have the biggest bang? So if you're thinking about listing your house, what is something, hey, that doesn't cost that much to do this?
I'm always going to say paint.
Okay.
I don't care what your situation is, I'm always going to say paint.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure, paint. And then a kitchen and bathroom refresh if needed. I mean, it just depends, but if needed.
Yeah, those are the two areas that I think really give you the most return on investment. If you're going to put a little bit more of a chunk into it to prep it to sell, or it's not your forever home, you want to do something a little bit nicer to it, and ensure you have some return on that investment later. The kitchen and primary is definitely going to be.
So how expensive are like countertops? Because I've went into some open houses recently, and the houses were $275, $310, and they still have those old, is it called Formica countertops that just cafeteria style looking things. I'm going,
you don't like that?
I don't like that. And I'm like, I feel bad that that's what someone has to sell, because to me that makes it $100,000 house. Now, that's me being old, and I bought a $100,000 house that had those type of countertops.
Well, and buyers nowadays don't want to walk in and see that.
No.
Because they immediately will see dollar signs that they need to improve that, especially with it being a common area. And that's where they're going to entertain and host and things like that. They want that to be a little elevated.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really nice granite options out there, so you're not having to go up to the quartz or marble or anything like that. And you could refresh your countertops for under $5. I mean, around $5.
Okay.
If you put it on the size of the kitchen, obviously. But yeah,
you're probably thinking of a smaller kitchen. If they're going from Formica, it's probably not a large kitchen.
Yeah.
So if you had to replace, because they usually have them ugly sinks too. You can only do one of the other. Put a nicer sink in Formica.
No,
or
you're just adding on that. We're going up here now.
No, we're doing one of the other.
But that's how it works, though.
Yeah,
is you start with something, and then all of a sudden, and that's when you have to really dial it back. I mean, with this current listing, we were there was 4 adults in this bathroom, and we were sitting there trying to go back and forth of making sure that they were spending their dollars wisely, because that is important to us, to both of us. But then also, it was the last room that they just hadn't gotten to yet. And this home it's very unique. It's lakefront, it's mid-century modern, it's a beautiful property in a very desirable neighborhood. And then you come to the primary, and it's not bad by any means. It just hasn't been updated like the rest of the home, and so that's when we're in there.
You said the primary. What do you mean?
The bathroom, primary bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, primary bathroom.
So what's the primary bathroom? Is that the master? That's the one that if you're in the living room,
The
you gotta
master
pee.
bathroom.
They said they
That's
don't
the
call it
master.
master anymore.
Oh yeah, you can. I get that. It's a stretch, but I get it. But whatever.
I just told him on the way over here. We don't call it master anymore. We
I
call
know.
it primary.
I get correct on that. I'm gonna call it master.
I only
understand
called
that-
it primary because
Yeah.
I'm doing this right now. I'm
Yeah.
always calling it master.
No, I mean I get the derogatory roots of it, but sometimes something's just been there for so long.
It,
it's
yes,
like, it doesn't mean that to anybody else. So
right.
just rock on.
But we were in the bathroom and we were sitting there trying to pick and choose. Well, what is your budget? What are you wanting to do? If you wanted to go this route, these are the options, but then you're going to be in this price point. And if you want to do this route, and as the listing agent, I can only advise. I'm not telling you what to do and how to spend your money, but update the vanity, put some new lights up and some new mirrors and paint. That's a big refresh.
Are there any AI or websites or apps that can help with you guiding people? Like show them, hey, look, this is what your kitchen would look like if you did just did the countertops.
They're absolutely
yet?
yes.
I mean, there are, and there's some websites and things that I could build a mock kitchen and make it kind of get a generalized idea of what it might look like.
Yeah.
I haven't used anything like full AI that would like give it a realistic look,
Right.
but I have used one that kind of put the cabinets in, put the fridge in, kind of give it a general idea of what. Yeah.
So I want to go back to. So what made you go into home building? Like, did you grow up with a builder family? Do you just like fixing stuff? Are you handy? That's
a little bit of all the above. So, my dad's always done building with construction and things, built houses when I was little. So, we did tinkering around things here and there. So I've always had some experience. My uncle owns a general contracting business. So, really got some good guidance from him on processes and things. And, toyed around with a couple of different business options and ideas and things that are out there, and landed on this with the best intentions of what we can do and grow with.
Pricing's got to be the hardest part, is because I know I'm helping my son with a lawn business, and to quote somebody on a lawn, like you'll quote and it'll look really easy. And then I'll get out there and be helping them. It's like, oh my God, we didn't notice this hill back here. And
Ain't that the truth?
And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this one took forever and we underpriced it. And then you go to another one and you pay overprice it and it took 5 minutes. Like it's just, I guess that's just experience. You're going to take some on the chin once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's exactly the way it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's growing pains, but I mean, you've got systems and processes and
yeah. And that's what I love. Like people have talked about, there's no need to go to college because you can learn just about anything from YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are YouTube videos on how to price, because I looked up how do you price lawns, and honestly, they weren't that great because they were talking about your hourly rate, how many people you need. I'm like, okay, he's 14, and I don't know how long it's going to take him. It depends on if he's in a hurry or not that day.
How hot it is that day too.
So that was difficult. But YouTube is great for learning that. So have y'all considered flipping property? I know that's not huge yet, but at some point that'll be a big
considered
deal.
Yeah. We've got,
because your part's the hardest. Well, financing really isn't that hard if you make the right contacts.
Yeah.
But the problem with most people flipping is they don't have you in their pocket that will show up when you need them. Because the timing to flip real estate, the hardest part, or the key to being successful, in my understanding, is timing. You've got to be quick. You have to flip it quick. It isn't about just taking your time, because 1 month you're paying an extra month mortgage,
right?
Yeah.
Plus so many other things that factor in. Because a lot of times with flipping, the people that are really good at it can do those ones with very slim margins because they're good at being efficient. Somebody that's brand new, you've got to have a huge margin because you don't even know what it's going to take. You could probably walk in and go, I know we're going to do this and this. It's going to be 8,000, 15,000. This is what I could sell it for, blah, blah, blah. But, somebody that's experienced might be able to do it for a $2,000 profit.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody that with no experience, like, because we did one, and it was like a $25,000 profit margin,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the only way we could get away with it. Because if we wouldn't have, we'd lost everything because we didn't know what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we relied on contractors
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to show up, and people, oh, I'll be out there, and oh, we're there, and like, just like a normal homeowner, we were sitting there for weeks waiting
Time
on the
is
people
money.
just to start. You
Mhm.
can't
Yeah.
schedule the next person, and the painter's like, I had you for this week, and I was like, well, we got to rip the cabinets out before you paint,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
No, I mean, we've got it on our radar. We've got a lot of big plans and ideas that we would like to grow his business and then, some of our business together. And flipping is on the to-do list, but also just buying and holding and having some investment properties
Yeah.
just as rentals. I really do believe that real estate is just one of the best investments that you can make. And we would like to be able to put our children in positions to be able to buy a home for them, or leave something over to them, or depending on the situation, they can move in and have some roommates and whatever it is, whatever the season of life is and what they need. But by having investment properties, we have options, and
Yeah.
that's what it's about, is having options.
I was just listening to a podcast today, and I don't know if this is true, but he said that the average boomer owns 2.5 pieces of real estate. And they talked about, like, we talked about the supply issue in the country. I don't know if that's really, truly an issue anymore. I feel like there's a lot more supply now. I'm
Mhm.
sure the numbers don't balance because there's significantly
Yeah.
less buyers. And if rates drop, we'd be back in the same boat. But anyway, they were talking about let's normalize. See what I'm saying?
There's that word again.
Oh, I can't stand it. But that's what he said. He said, let's normalize leaving your kid a house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, consider that. Like, don't sell it for property and give them money. You have a problem with, we're complaining about interest rates and affordability. Well, leave them a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a lot of people consider, like, if you have 2 or 3 investment properties, and your goal is to hopefully get them paid off by the time you're 65,
Mm-hmm.
then that's your income.
Yeah.
You could be getting $5, $6, $7, $10, $20,000 a month coming in, and at that time you have enough that you hire management companies to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not doing anything but collecting checks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think the younger you start on something like that, definitely the better. It's great to have somebody that can do the repairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that are looking at getting into investments, and they call me because they know my wagon's hitched to him. And
yeah.
if they, during due diligence, they can have him over and walk through the property pretty quickly and efficiently and give a ballpark of what's going on,
Yeah.
so that they can decide, are we going to close on this, or do we need to jump ship
Yeah.
and figure it out?
That's awesome, because you definitely need to just tell as many people as you can, and always, because there are plenty of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look at people that I know that flip all the time, and they're still flipping all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's still an old lady that wants to sell her home, and she only owes $13,000, and she don't have any money to fix it, doesn't care. She's at the end of her life, if you will, and
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there are still tons of opportunities for that out there. You just
Mm-hmm.
gotta beat the streets. They
Mm-hmm.
work a lot harder at it, because I keep saying I want to do it again. I'm not knocking on people's doors. I don't know people, so how's real estate going? How is we're moving into winter? I always find that December is one of my best months.
Mhm.
Obviously, the spring and early summer is the best. September is always great, but then December is usually probably my 4th or 5th best month, and then it dies off in January. Is anything different this year? Are we back to seasonal real estate, or are we just?
No, I feel that uptick in my conversations and current activity right now with my buyers and my listings coming up. And I feel like the last several Christmas and Thanksgivings, I can recall taking phone calls and showing houses with Christmas decorations up.
Yeah.
So I would agree that I think that November, December is a little bit higher, and then, like you said, it kind of dies off that January, February. But people are moving, people
Yeah.
are selling, people are buying.
It's weird how these, I don't know if they're imaginary, these deadlines that people create for themselves. Like, school started and I got to buy before school, or school, I want to be moved before summer so that we're settled, or and then end of the year, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But literally come January 1st, for that month, it's pretty quiet for us. We laugh in the mortgage business because in January and February, when you get applications, it's typically people with really bad credit.
Oh.
They have bad credit, and they're just, that's
Testing
their
the
New
waters?
Year's
They're
resolution.
testing the waters, or
Yeah, I think it's maybe they thought about it over the holidays, and they maybe seen, I don't know what it is, and they just felt like, okay, I want to do it. And then they apply, and they're just like, hey, I know I'm probably not in position, but what?
But what can they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we find that, we find a lot of people that it's, unfortunately, and just being honest, I'd say 80% of people with bad credit are not going to fix it. I've counseled so many people. I've been doing this 25 years. I've helped giving people plans, and it's so difficult to get out from under a lot, even to file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a big cure for rich people, but an attorney charges $1,000 to file bankruptcy for you. So what's this person that's broke gonna? How are they gonna file bankruptcy? To wipe all that stuff off? They can't, because they don't have money. They don't know who to call, and they don't have the money to pay that attorney to do it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So we try to give people a plan. I love they're making changes to qualifications, some good, some bad. The 50-year mortgage, I think, is insane. They're talking about adding rental history to the credit report somehow. That's great. I think that could help, because if you can't pay your rent on time,
I do think that could be helpful.
yes, it definitely could. Because you need to be intentional about paying your rent on time if you truly want to buy.
Yeah.
And then, they've already removed healthcare collections, medical collections. They don't affect your credit score anymore. And I think that's a big deal, because that gets a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, that's not always people that just don't want to pay.
Right. That's
The
life.
whole medical industry is confusing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that could be a separate
That's a whole nother podcast.
That could be a separate podcast
I
for
get a
us.
bill. Am I supposed to pay this? Or are you just telling me how much I don't even know. I literally almost, I wait till I get a collection notice to know that I actually have to pay it. Because I'll get one and then, or I usually pay when I go back.
We could put our tinfoil hats on and go down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, no, I mean, real estate's good. Real estate's good. I'm having a lot of conversations. A lot of people, it feels really exciting that people are awake and they want to do things.
Yeah.
And if they're not moving or, buying and selling, they're renovating.
Yeah.
A lot of people right now are renovating, and a lot of people, I think, are pulling equity from their current homes and using that to renovate.
Because prices have not gone backwards. They've continued to slow. The appreciation has slowed dramatically, but it's still appreciating. And people have a ton of equity. So they have the ability to get equity lines and cash out refinances, do whatever they need to do those repairs, just to make their own living space better. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really important for both of us to love where you live. I mean, I couldn't imagine anything else, especially like after we experienced COVID and we were locked down and had to stay home. You want to love where you live. You want to go home. You want to look forward to going home. That's how I believe. If you don't look forward to going home, then what are we doing? That should be your safe place. You should enjoy it. It
should be comfortable.
Yes, you should be comfortable. You should want to have people over if that's your thing, or be isolated there if that's your thing. But either way, being happy and love where you live. And I want to help people figure that out, figure that place out, that community and where they need to be. And then he can help them on the other side of that if they're staying put, or once they've bought, or if they need to sell. So
I was just at a friend's house, and they had the most gorgeous house, and it's hard for me to understand other people's personalities, because I like having a million people come over, and I like drive by, don't even knock, open the door, I don't care. And he just had the most beautiful home, beautiful backyard, and just everything. I was like, oh man, you gotta have people over, you have a Christmas party. He's like, no, it's like, we just love coming home in these big windows in the woods, and I was like, I actually saw it at that moment. I was like, wow, it does feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, you look out the front window and you see the streets and the cars and all that, but out the back it looked like they were on Golden Pond.
Yeah, I love that. He loves where he lives.
He does.
I just got a new kitchen table, and I'm really excited to go home every day and see my table. So little improvements like that.
Well, let's get you back to that table. Before we do, last question. What does it look like for y'all 1 year from today? What does
Oh,
life
wow.
look like?
Man, and I'm sure you know this. We're in business planning mode right now.
Yes.
2026 it'll be here tomorrow, and I'm really excited. I feel the most hopeful and excited about my career since I started this career. I love the brokerage that I'm with. I love the team that I have, and I think finding balance and in continuing to dream and grow and helping a lot of families find their place that they call home that they love and they're comfortable in. And I mean, I've got a lot of ideas brewing and I'm really excited about implementing some things this coming up year. But I think as long as everybody is healthy and happy, um, then I'm okay. I'm successful. And just watching him grow and watching him run his business has been really fulfilling for me. To see him do something that he loves and that he's happy doing. So I like to come back in a year and see how we've grown and what we've done differently.
Yeah.
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 Where do you see yourself in a year?
Yeah, what do you say?
Same, just growing, building the business that I want to leave and just having some good projects behind me.
Okay, I'm not letting y'all get away with this because we know that, what is it, SMART goals. Has to be
Oh,
measurable.
yes.
Specific, measurable,
Specific,
attainable,
measurable,
reasonable.
attainable, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I want to know, what does it look like in a year from now? How many homes are you working on? Are you flipping a property? Are your kids in the business?
Man, I feel like I'm
Are
sitting in front of my
you-
coach right now. Be more specific.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's so weird because I always, sometimes I'll look back on a year and go, really not much has changed since a year ago. And then sometimes I go, holy cow, like so much has changed in a
Yeah.
year. Like it's
Mhm.
weird, those seasons.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, like, what if I actually thought forward, if I could create those changes instead of them just happening.
Yeah.
And I know Keller Williams had that class where you actually wrote yourself a letter and somebody else mailed it back to you in a year, and it was so depressing because I never made them. Because they were like big goals, like,
Yeah.
make these big goals, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't have a Lamborghini or 2 lake
Oh,
houses.
man. So I am actively working right now on, and I'm just being very transparent and real, how to balance my homeschool mom life and my work life because it does bleed into each other a lot. I mean, I had Lucy at a final walkthrough the other day because life happened and she's 6 and she can't be home by herself.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not often that she or that my kids are at client facing appointments, but when it happens, it happens. And I only want to work with people that understand that I'm human and I'm showing up the best way I can. So if they have a problem with that, then we should
See,
work
I think
together.
that's normal now since 2020.
Oh yeah,
I
my
think
clients.
like I've even seen reporters that their kids will walk in, and it's like it's not even a big deal. It's like that is part of our lives. Why are we hiding from it? When we
Yeah,
know
and see, I'm just
that's all of us.
I'm getting older. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But I'm in a season where I just don't care anymore. I want to be who I am.
Yeah.
I want to be who I am. And
if
I
you
want
don't want to be with us in that,
then that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fine. There are
that's-
other people, I can refer you to an agent that
Yeah.
you would rather work with, and
Right.
that's fine. I know a lot of amazing agents in this area that would be perfect for you, but I want to work with people that want to work with me because I'm going to show up the way that I am, exactly who I am. And it makes the experience more authentic and fun if you're working with people that you want to work with. And if I occasionally have to have my 6-year-old follow along with me, well, then so be it, because she's looking at
Yeah.
mama being a badass, running her business, doing the hard things, and showing up for herself and her family.
That's 2 asses on my.
That's 3 now. I'm trying really hard to work on that balance, and again, like being where my feet are, it's important, and I have I set a lot of boundaries with my clients and with my kids, and going by the end of 2026, I do have some big goals, and I think a lot of them align with I've got to grind and work really hard in my business so that my family can reap the benefits of it. We've got a lot of health journey things that we're working through right now with some of our kids, and going back to that medical insurance and medical world. We have a lot of healing that we're doing in our house, and I want to be able to provide that for my family. And I want to be able to sit back and look a year from now and know that it was I don't know, like we're always going to provide whatever our kids need. They've never gone without. Thank you, Lord. They've never gone without. And again, we've been low and high, but we've got real things that we're working through, and I need to work to be able to provide those things. So if I can look back and see in a year from now that we've healed some things in our family that we're working on with one of our kids, then that's success to me, and that's what I'm excited about.
And I think you should write that down for everybody that's doing business plans. Is my goal would always be, I want to double my business next year. It was a slow year, so that shouldn't be too hard. I want to double my business, but I still want to be home at 3:30 when my son gets off the bus.
So
I don't want to double my business and double my hours at work.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get better at my job, build a better team so that I'm making more money, doing twice as much business, but we're doing it all for our kids.
So I have a coach that I'm working with. She's the Keller Williams Noonan Market Center team lead, and Joanna, and I'm going to give her a shout out. Do you know Joanna?
I've met her several times, but she's just like,
exactly.
She has an aura
That's exactly
that
what
goes
she.
through
Yes.
the internet. Like,
yes.
She just, the way people speak of her, and
Yes.
I listen to her little morning. Doesn't she do like something every?
Yeah, coffee with Morning Joe, because her name is Joanna.
Yes.
Yes.
Aura is the only word I can come up with.
I love that.
Her energy level is just. And
She's
it's not like she's like, it's not that type of energy. It's just a feel good. Like, I want to be around
joyful.
her.
Yeah,
joyful.
Yes. So I am now over at Noonan Market Center, and because we live in Noonan, and that's close to home, but I'm coaching with her, and she knows how important family is to me in this season of life. When we have one that's about to be 17 and could be off to college, and then we have a kindergartner, whoo, time hits you hard, and you realize how quick that goes. And I want to be with my family, and when I'm with my family, I want to be with my family. And so I have this thing, and I don't want people to hear and think, well, that's lazy. No, it just means I'm going to work really beeping hard, but I'm mastering the 4-hour workday because I do have to homeschool my children. Now, and that being said, I do have time blocks where it's like free family time, and some of those times are going to have to be swapped out for listing appointments, buyer consults, and things like that. But the day in and day out grind of running my business and all the behind the scenes that people don't see that realtors do, I need to master the 4-hour workday. And a little joke that I have is, one day I'm going to be the one that's written the book. I'm hosting the podcast. I'm standing up, teaching the classes, all the classes that I've been going to and learning to better my education so I can help my clients. I'm going to be the one up there for realtors that teaches mastering the 4-hour workday and having a successful business, because I got big goals, but I'm just going to have to work more efficiently and work harder and make every minute in those 4 hours count even more.
There's nobody listening, all 8 of you, that could not admit that if they broke down the amount of time they actually worked during the day, if they somehow streamlined that and were focused and intentional, that they couldn't do it all in 4 hours.
So, I would agree with that. And that way I can just, when I turn my office lights off at the end of the day, I can go home and I can be with my family. And I have really strict boundaries. I'm turning my phone on Do Not Disturb. And if you're an active client of mine, you can get through to me. But otherwise, I will return your phone call the next day or your email or your text. No one is dying. I will get back to you. I am with my family, and you should be with your family.
I think that's fair. And there are environments and situations where you need to be reachable. But in general, there should be respectable boundaries.
Yeah. No one that needs to get to me is cut off from me. If I am actively working with you, you have full access to me. I will also scan and see, is this an emergency? But you always have access to me. But if If it's, you know, a new prospect that's come in and they get my automated text message, I will get back to them the next morning. I
Yeah.
have a schedule. I start my day at 4 a.m. And I'm in bed by 9:30. And I tell my clients, if you need me after 9:30, you're getting a different person.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. I'm tired.
Well, it's getting close to 9:30. It feels like it. So let's
I
get
know.
y'all
I know.
back home to your
My
new
kitchen
dining room
table.
table. Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yes. Thank y'all very much. Send me a picture of the table so I can post it in the video. Everyone's gonna want to see
Okay,
it.
I really don't want to set anyone's expectation. It was a
I want-
thrifted table.
It don't matter. I want all 8 of your kids sitting at the table. I want y'all all together
Look, this was
smiling
a really
with a
hard
big thing.
find. I needed a round table for we have an old home and I needed a round table for my kitchen because we have a 1975 home and it has a sunken living room. And so with a long table, you could fall into the living room and like the chairs. I'm constantly telling people, don't scoot back anymore. That's going to get really weird. And so I've been looking and I'm a thrifter. I don't know. I guess I like the hunt. I'm not sure. But I have patiently waited like a year looking for a 60-inch round kitchen table that I actually like. And I walked in the other day to Habitat for Humanity Restore in Noonan, and there it was. Me and Lucy, we fell in love with it, and he went and picked it up a couple of days later, and it's beautiful.
Me and Lucy, you named the table?
No. well, not yet. My youngest.
You should name the table Lucy.
Yes. No, she actually works with me on Thursdays at the office, and so on the way home, we made a pit stop. She was not thrilled, but then when we found the table, she was better.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, Southern Legacy Builders, Nicole with Keller Williams. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
All right. We're out.